Okay, so I've got an earring pattern for you today in tatting. Are you ready for this? It's got a cute little owl in it with little sparklies. Whoop. Slid away on me. Let's see. There we go. Made like a little branch right here for him to look like he's standing on when he's in your ear. Okay. So today we're going to need some thread to begin with and a tatting needle. For today's tutorial, I will be using, let's back that up a little bit, Artsy 100% mercerized Egyptian cotton number 10 thread in the colorway Blue Jade, or Jade Blue rather. Okay. You will also need some type of earring, whether there's multiple different kinds that you can get. I chose to use just a hook. I know there's a proper term for them. Just one of them simple hooks like that. You will need a pair of jewelry pliers, or if you're like me, I have a little snap-on plier kit. And I've got some cutters, and I've got 2 different pairs of needle nose, and I use these a lot when I'm making jewelry. Set them out of the way for now. And you will want some type of charm to go in the middle, which I chose an owl. That's why I made the design I made. You do not have to have a charm in the middle. You can leave it empty. But if you do use a charm, you will need a jump ring right here if the charm doesn't have one already. I just so happen to have one on this charm already. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside for now. Hopefully there's not too much shadows. And we're going to go ahead and thread our needle. And for this project, you're only going to need, about 12 inches of tail, 12 to 18 inches of tail. You won't need a whole lot with it just being an earring. Okay, go ahead and get this threaded. For the sake of this tutorial, I am using my number 3 needle, even though I am using number 10 thread. It is recommended that whatever size thread you use should equal out to the same size as the needle that you are using. So I should be using a smaller needle, but I'm not for this tutorial. This way you will be able to see the stitches a little bit better. And I didn't do it on my earring over here that I used as a, this is what we're gonna make. All right. So after you get about 12 to 18 inches, we're gonna start with the top ring on the earring. So we're gonna start up here. So place your finger and thread on the back of the needle. And if you need instructions on how to do these double stitches, I have tutorials for tatting, needle tatting basics that teach you how to do a double stitch and an arch and how to connect. So we're going to do 3 double stitches. That was 1, 2, and 3. We need a picot and 3 more double stitches. It's 2, 3, picot, and 3 double stitches after it. 1 more picot and 1 more picot and 3 more double stitches. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, we're going to grab hold of that thread down here so we don't lose it, pull our needle through, and insert your tail and needle through that loop and close to form a ring, just like such. Okay. Okay, so our arch is going to go this way, and our arches are going to consist of, let's see here, do 1 double stitch, 2 double stitches, picot, double stitch, 2 double stitches, picot, double stitch, and 2 double stitches. And you're going to repeat that until you have 10 picots with 2 double stitches in between each one. So that's 2. I'll slide my work down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the last one, 10. Double check. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Nope, I need 1 more. Let me make sure. 2, 6, 8, 10. Nope, I had him. It was just hid. That's why we double check. It was hid behind the circle here. All right, so we're going to pull through to form that arch, just like we have here. Now what I want to do is kind of pull this one over and make sure that I'm about the same. In my arch, because I might have to pull it together a little bit tighter. Okay, yes I do. I need to pull it up just a hair. So you just tighten it up just a little bit. There we go. Okay. Now I'll pick my work back up. And I'm going to place a knot there so that way it doesn't stretch back out. Okay, now we're ready to begin. The next part that we're going to do is what I said look like a branch. And we're going to put that part next. Place your needle over your knot. And now with this, all you do is the same direction. You do as you would do your front part of your double stitch. You just keep going the same way, down and under, up and over. Pull it down and under, up and over. Come through the back of it. Just keep doing that. You're only making half of that double stitch. And what this does is it creates a twisting to your work, and it kind of spirals around your needle as you're working. You just keep adding them stitches. Let's see. I think I need just a few more. So I have 25 stitches across. Now we're just going to pull that tail all the way through. And watch, because it will like to hang up on the picots from your previous work there. Just flick them out of there. Just like such. Okay. Now I'm going to line this all up again because I want to make them the same. Now, when you're doing your first earring, you kind of want to judge it by how tight you pull it as to how big you want it and how everything looks consistent. You don't want it real loose through there. So here we go. We're going to line it all up again. And I'm going to squish these stitches up until I'm the same as the previous earring. So I'm just going to tighten this up until it's the same as that other earring. Like that. Then what I'll do is place a knot in it so that way it doesn't loosen up on me while I finish the last side. Okay. So now looking at this work, I need the last arch. Let's see if I can get this to where it's not all curling up. This one's blocked. This one is being its normal, typical self before being blocked. Okay. So here we are. We've done our top, the first side, what I'm calling the little branch underneath. Now we need this last side. So we want that arch, our work of our arch, all the picots to face our hand so that way it curves the right direction. So when I pick it up, I'm going to place my needle on top of the knot. And the work is over here on the right side, and it's all empty on the needle on the left side. Now, the arch consisted of 2 double stitches, picot, 2 double stitches until you had 10 picots. So there's 1, 2, picot, and I'm going to let you finish that, and I'll meet up with you when I'm at the end. All right, 1 double stitch left, and I will be done with this last arch. So I'm going to pull it through gently. Okay. And once again, I want to set it on top of the earring I've already made and try to get everything lined up so that way I can make sure they're roughly about the same size. They may not be perfect, but remember, you are not a machine. You are not machine making these. You are doing the best that you can and trying to be as accurate as possible when doing it. But mistakes are made by humans. And you know what else? Mistakes are made by machines too. Okay, so that's good right where it's at. Everything seems lined up well. So I'm going to go ahead and gently turn that over and get a knot in it before it decides to run off and be silly. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we got to connect these. Let me make sure I've got my thread on the right side here. Okay. So with your completed work in your right hand, and where you finished off the last arch in your left hand, you want to take your needle, and I'm going to zoom in so you can see. You want to take your needle, whoops, let me get center here, and put it right in between these double stitches at the bottom and right at the top of this arch here. Where everything comes together, that's where you want to place it. Okay, so we are in. Then you're going to just pull that through like that until your pieces all meet up together. Just like that. And now I'm going to turn my work over. Get everything situated on the back here. Sorry if I keep falling out of camera. Okay. All I'm doing is trying to make sure that I get all of my thread and everything situated just right. So that way it makes it easy to put a knot in it. So now that I have the thread that goes to my ball, so my working thread, and I have the thread on the right here that goes to the needle, which is my tail. I'm going to place a knot where I just came out. Okay. All right. And since I have the needle already on this side, I'm going to go ahead and sew in my end. And if you want to know how I sew in my ends, I also have a video that explains that. I think it's in the last tatting needle tatting video I did. Not the blocking one, the one before that. Okay, I'm going to do this off camera. It's going to take me a minute. Okay, so I have my tails woven. It's time to add the hook for our earring. And here's what I used for the owl. It's by Metal Gallery. I picked it up at Hobby Lobby. So I'm going to go ahead and take it off, get it ready. Okay. Let me get my handy dandy snap-on pliers. Now, when you look at these, if you've never worked with them before, this little spring-looking thing down here slides up just a hair, and you can see where that wire curls around. We're just going to open that up just a hair more so that way we can slide the thread in there. Looks good. Okay. And now where we're going to place it is on top in that picot at the very top of your small ring. So we're going to slide that picot there, just like that, so it's hanging on it. And now I'm just going to take my pliers and I'm just going to close that back up, that little bit that we opened it. I'm going to close it back up just a hair. There we go. And then I'm going to slide that little coily spring looking thing back down. Just like that. Back down on top. Okay. So now we have our hook for our ear. Now we're going to do our owl part. And what I do is I take my needle nose and I set it in the center of the jump ring. And then I move it around until I find where the split is in that jump ring. And then I just gently pull it apart so that way I can hook it into the thread. Then I grab hold of it with my pliers. And we're going to want to put it in the same place we made our last knot. Right in the middle of all of that. In between the two arches and right underneath our first circle. First ring. Okay. And once you have it connected, all you're going to do is close that ring back up by taking your jewelry pliers and giving it a gentle squeeze until it, let me see if I can fold this thread out of the way so you can see it better. You just want to give it a gentle squeeze so that way you get this closed back up. See if I can get everything out of the way. Okay. Because you don't want your earring jewelry to fall off your earring. All right. Okay. So now all we need to do is block it and you will have a set of earrings. If you don't know how to block, I do have a tutorial on blocking my needle tatting work and what I use. So that's what I will do is, this one is already blocked. What I will do is put this one on the blocking board. That way I have something to match this one up with. And I will pin it down just the same shape as this one. And block it with, and starch it really, really good. And then when it's dry, I'll show you.